Hey guys, it's Joshua, and today we're going to be showing you how to do the car eyes effect on real life cars, and this is the effect we'll be doing today. Alright, as you can see, you can animate the eyes. They look quite real. There's actually reflections. If you look closely, you can see the reflections in the car eyes. There's a bit of dirt on the top. There's an overall grudge. And this is all in After Effects. There's no 3D plugins or anything like that, so let's get right into it. So first thing you want to do is get your footage, drop it into a new comp, and you want to change your comp to 32-bit. By doing that, you can just click on it and then change it to 32, and then linearize it if you like, or you can just click Alt a few times, and it'll do the same thing. Alright, so this is my footage here. It's just a camera panning down, looking at the car there. I'm gonna trim this down just for tutorial's sake. This is what we got. The first thing I'm gonna do is actually come up to animation, track and mocha. Okay. This won't pop up. It's just because I've done it before. So you click yes. If you click Z on the keyboard, it zooms in, and if you click X, it switches to the hand. Then you can reposition it. So I'm gonna find a frame where I kind of like and want to do the mask. And what we're just masking out is we're just going to mask out the windshield to create a little matte, and then we can use that matte later on for the car eyes. So let's make a couple masks here. Alright, change it to 90% if it isn't, or higher, and then just drag forwards. Alright, and then after you get a shape of the windshield and it's kind of tracked there nicely, what we're going to do is go to Export Shape Data and copy the clipboard, and go back to After Effects. Go beginning comp, create new, solid, white one. We're gonna call this windshield matte. Make sure at the beginning, come to edit, and come down to the bottom and click paste mocha mask. And now we have this white square tracked to the windshield. The reason we did it paste mocha mask because now we can click F on the keyboard. We can feather the edges, say by like 5 pixels or something like that. I gotta keep it at 5 for now and see what it's like. Go back to the beginning, go back to mocha. This time we're gonna go to export tracking data. So then export tracking data, copy the clipboard, go back to the beginning. We're gonna create a new null. We're gonna name this tracker null. And from this, we're gonna come up, edit, paste. So now we have this null that is tracked to the movement of the camera. Alright, so we're going to create a new solid. We're going to call these eyes troll. I'm going to change the color just so you can see what's happening. Just click that. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the pick wick, parent it to the tracking null by holding shift and letting go. Now we go to the eye control, scale it down. Scale it down so it's about the size of the windshield. Bring it to the windshield matte. Turn this one off and then put the eye control on, and we're going to drop a corner pin. And what this is going to do, it's going to put in the perspective of the windshield. You don't have just a flat image that's supposed to be on an angle, which is. And for this, you don't have to be perfect. I actually like to go outside a bit because if you see here, it's kind of rounded, and if you just go in the corner, there's still a slit. So if you move it a bit further out, it gets rid of that. And the next step anyways is going to get rid of that. So if we go to the eye control, change it. If it's like that, you just come down here, toggle switches. We're going to go to track matte and then alpha matte on the windshield matte. So now this layer is taking the information of where the track mat was and using it. Now it's tracked and it's in perfect position in the windshield. We're going to go with eye control, right click, pre-compose. We're going to leave all the attributes in this one. We're going to call it eye control comp. Click OK. And before we jump in, I'm going to lock this comp, double click on it, and grab it from the top and drag it to the right. So now you can see both of them at the same time. Alright. First thing we're going to do is we're going to drop a gradient ramp. And this is going to be for the kind of look. You can see the colors are always darker, and like as soon as it gets higher up there's more light. So to get that kind of effect, we just added a gradient ramp. This, I'm going to swap the colors because I like the darker on the bottom. I'm going to drag this down just a little bit. Grab the little eyedropper and just find a color from your car that you kind of like. This takes a little playing around to find that nice little color. Alright, we'll go with that for now. So this is going to be where your actual eyelids are. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, click G, and create a little mask of where we want the eyelids. So we're just going to do something like this. In the car eyes, they have this little triangle thing going on for their eyes. Whoops. So I'm just going to add that. And close that. So that's the top there. And then for the bottom, we do the same thing and just gonna add a quick little mask. And we can reposition it so get how we like. The thing that's special about this is how we animate the eyelids, because it's a mask. You can add some keyframes and animate it, and that's pretty much the secret on how you animate the eyelids. What I'm going to do is come to eye control, click F, and I'm just going to feather it by 20 pixels, both of them. Alright. Come down here, create a new solid. We're going to name this. Don't make it perfect white. I find if you just kind of go a little bit lower to make it like a bit gray, it works the best. And this is going to be the eye white. Drop that below it, obviously. Come to eye control. I'm actually gonna lower this part, so if you highlight all the keyframes, you can kind of drop it down. And if you don't like it, you can always change the keyframes that you like, and find something that works best for you. Put that triangle. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a glow around the edges, and this is going to add a darker look so it makes it stand out a bit more. We're going to come in here and add a glow. And the easier way to see this is if you go down here to the toggle mask, turn it off so you can actually see what you're doing. So the first one, I changed it to about 60, get just a little bit of a glow. And then we're going to duplicate the glow by clicking Control D. And now we have another one, and this one you can expand it a bit more. So what this does is it makes it kind of look 3D, like the eyelids stand out a bit, and also adds a nice little black line plus a glow from the outside to the inside, so now it's not perfect white anymore. Alright. Come up to the projects. I found this photo online of just some eyes. Here, let me drop it up here. Just some eyes of the cars, and I'm just gonna mask out each eye and then use it for the video. Close that. Drop it in here. Go the pen tool, or you can do the eclipse tool, which is actually quite easier. I'll do that. That over and just draw a little mask around it. I gotta go to the mask, click at the none so I can actually see it. You click V on the keyboard and you can actually reposition it. Great circle mask around the eye. That one. Pull this in. Pull that one out. Alright, I'm gonna name this left eye. Also gonna add a little bit of feather to it, just 3 pixels or so. Duplicate it. Actually, before you duplicate it, click M, change it from none to add, so it is just the eye now. And then duplicate it, change this to right eye. If you put P, pick the position, you can just move it over here. How you like the eye. And to get it so it's actually behind everything, you could just click on both of the eyes, drag it above the white but below the control, and then you have the eyes kind of like that. As you can see here, the eyes are kind of small, so I can actually scale them up. 124 is nice, so scale 124, reposition it. A quick little thing I did, because these eyes are very saturated, a thing you can do is just add a hue and saturation. Oops, somehow that went back. So get rid of that, go back into the comp, click on one of the eyes, and then drop hue and saturation. And then just bring the saturation down. Or you can bring the lightness up so it kind of matches the footage a bit more. Get that, copy it, left eye. Alright, and it depends on your scene, but these eyes are very sharp for this, so I'm just going to also add a fast blur. Change it to like 5 for now. And copy that as well, put it to the right eye. And for the eyes, what you can do as well is, what I like to do when I'm animating them, is you grab the pickwick of one of the eyes, drop it to the other one. So now if we move the left eye, see if you press P, it moves both eyes. So you don't have to animate both eyes. Then another thing I like to do is go to null object, rename this to wiggle eyes, press P, hold Alt on the little stopwatch, type in wiggle, and then 4, 4 bracket. Then minimize it. You drop that below, that doesn't need to be there. Get the left eye, the position, or do whatever eye isn't tracked to the other eye. So the right eye is tracked to the left. I'm going to use the left eye. Pickwick it to the wiggle expression, and now the eyes just kind of move just ever so slightly, so they're not perfectly static. Alright. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the actual reflection. So if you go back, click Control C on your main footage, Control V so it's there. Bring it to the top, and this reflection. Can't type. And we're just gonna, first we're just gonna scale it up. You just kind of have to find a point where you kind of like on it, and just scale it up, find that little spot, and you can see as the footage moves, it'll move as well. And then we're going to add a turbulent displacement. I change it from turbulent to bulge. I just find bulge looks a little bit better. I just increased it to it's a bit too much. 60. Now you can see that it's kind of looking weird, but that's perfect. I'm gonna add a glow to make the sky and just everything stand out a bit more, and lower it. Not too much. You'll see what it actually does in a second. A tint. And for the tint, I'm just gonna click on the pickwick and just click any color, like a dark blue. Match it. And we're gonna add a fast blur. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can actually change this to add, and then you'll have the reflection there. But I found if you leave it on normal, just click T on the keyboard to lower your opacity, and just lower it. I find this gives a little bit better of a result. Not too sure why, it just does. But see, you can see with the glow, it just makes the sky stand out a bit more. And yeah, so that's kind of what we have here. We have the eyes staying there. The reflections are actually on every part of it if you keep it on the top layer. Next thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna add a quick grudge. I just found this image online of a scratch surface, and just gonna scale it up here and position it how I like. Change it from normal to overlay. Click T on the keyboard and just lower the opacity. You kind of see something, but it's not too noticeable. You can also drop the fast blur if you want to hide those sharp edges from the image. Now we just have these random specks. I don't know if you can see them, but there's this random specks around. If we turn it off, it's perfect glass. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to animate the eyes. So I'm not going to put too much time into this because this is the most time consuming part. But what you can do is if you click P on the eye control, or not P, M, bring up the mask pass. You can click on the time watch, so I'll do the beginning one there. I'll go a couple frames forward, so there's 6 frames forwards, and I'll just drop these. The key's blinking. This is why the less keyframes you have, the easier this is. And then you can move this one up. Alright. So what we now have is these layers coming closer together. And you can Control C the first keyframes, move them to a little bit after, click Control V, and then the eyes will open up again. If you want, you can highlight all the keys and then press F9 on your keyboard, or right click, keyframe assist, and easy ease. And then this makes the animation just a little bit smoother. This takes a little bit of playing around because when you blink, it's got to be quick and like snappy. So this is a little bit too slow, I find. I'm just going to move the keyframes a bit closer together. And now it's a bit too fast. So take your time on this part. Make it look actually quite nice. And then you can do that. Also, the next thing here is you can animate your eyes. So do the eye that you parented it to. So if I go click P on the left eye, I'm gonna have the eyes starting to animate here. So click P, add a stopwatch, and then move the eyes however you like. Actually, I'm gonna put them down here. Put it over. Now you can see that the eyes kind of animate. The eyes got to be snappy as well. Yeah, that's a bit too fast, but you can also easy ease. This makes it a little bit smoother and blends everything a little bit together. So that's not too bad. All right, as you can see, there's a little bit of dirt on the top here. So what I like to do is to make it look a little bit better. Go back to your eye layer. You can minimize these. I just found a photo online of some dirt kind of texture here. If I scale it up, see it a little bit better. So I just rotate it to 180 degrees so it's the other way. And then create a little mask around it and just that. This is where you want to use this one too, so you can actually see what's happening. So I'm going to expand this one a bit. Feather the edges. And then I'm going to turn down the opacity. You can now you can see that there's dirt here and a bit of dirt there. You can play with the mask as well. If you want a bit more dirt showing up. Yeah, that's how you get that. And if we go back, we can exit out of this composition, go back to your main one. And the eyes aren't perfect color. You can fool around with the gradient to help with that. Or a little thing you do is if you actually go to the eyes comp, go to levels, adjust this so you can actually see it. And if you overexpose it, you can see the dark areas. So these aren't too bad. The pupils would have been pure black. And there's other things on this footage that would be pure black, so you have to kind of match. Alright, this as dark as that? Which it's not too bad. But if we underexpose it, this is for the highlights. You can see if your highlights are overexposed. So this white's a little bit bright, so if you bring it down, all the way, it'll pretty much hide it, but we'll do that for now and see what it looks like. This is where the compositing comes in too. You can add a tint, lower it, match the footage, add a hue and saturation, boost up the lightness a bit so it matches it. And this takes a little bit of tweaking to get it how you like. But yeah, that's pretty much how to do this effect. It's quite simple, it looks nice, and there's a lot you can actually do with it. Like you learn how to do reflections, track mats, and hope to see some people actually making some videos with it or doing some cool stuff with it. But yeah. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you're new, and have a good one.